Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a Rolex certified pre-owned Oyster Perpetual Cosmograph Daytona stainless steel, reference 16520. U serial number corresponding to 1997. It's got a 78390 bracelet with 503B end links. The clasp code is Z, which also corresponds to 1997. Now, there are several different eras of 5-digit Daytona dial, and I'm not going to get into all of them. The so-called porcelain dials, 4-line, 5-line, floating cosmograph, tritium, no tritium, erect 6, inverted 6. There are quite a few, so we'll just talk about what this watch offers, but fit comes first. In stainless steel, the watch is 40 millimeters in diameter, 12.4 millimeters thick, 47 millimeters from lug to lug, and if you include the end links of the oyster-style bracelet, it is 49.1 millimeters across the wrist with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. All right, let's throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. We'll get a better sense of how this fits on a human being, because what is a watch if not worn? Just a small clock. Taken in total, with the pivoted end links to this bracelet, this is a fantastic unisex option by the standards of 2026. It's flat enough to fit under any cuffs. You can absolutely wear it as a dress watch, but you can see how far inboard of the edge of my wrist those lugs are, and particularly down the barrel. You could wear this on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and I've seen women with very petite wrists pull this model off successfully, particularly with the pivoted end links. It becomes a lot easier to wear on a small wrist than with solid end links. The bracelet's in great shape. As you can see, we've got the conforming end link, which is pivoted. We have hollow center links, because this is the late 90s. Removable links are fixed by screws. Taking a quick look, you can see we've got several removable links on each side. We've got a series of drillings through the clasp, so you can use your strap tool to dismount the spring bar, change the anchoring point, fine-tune the fit. I promised you details about the clasp itself, and now I'm going to show you those details right here. There you go, as promised, 78390, Z code, clasp, and there's your end link right there, 503B. Rolling around to the case itself, beautiful case, tapered, shapely, iconic. I would say that since the debut of the first automatic 40 millimeter Daytona back in 1988, the design language has been so strong that it's changed less than any Rolex model line, to the point that a 1988 5-digit Daytona on the wrist today isn't immediately distinguishable from a modern Daytona. The subs, the Sea Dwellers, Explorer 2s, there have been a lot of changes in those other model lines, but this is the evergreen design. Rolex got it right out of the gate, which is why it has such an enduring, iconic quality to it, almost like a Porsche 911. Taking a look now at the case design in detail, you can see some of these features of older Daytonas do shine through, like the use of brushing on the lug hoods. You can also see that we've got lacquer infill, all of the calibrations of the bezel, pre-ceramic by quite a margin. They're very distinct and easy to see. There is a 200 calibration bezel. That is a very early watch. This is more mainstream production, but we talked about some of those different dial markers. So what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at 1997, so still firmly within the era of tritium. It'd be about a model year later that Rolex started moving away from that for Luminova. And so you can see that there is a little bit of a shading to the indices themselves, though the hands are Rolex service replacement Luminova, if only because hands, particularly on a chronograph, tend to be a service replacement part. You'll also notice, if you get down there, that we have that inverted 6. We also have a 5-line dial, and so we can sort of place this dial mid to late 90s based on the chronology of these dial changes that occurred over time. There are other changes like the spacing and size of the hash marks, for example, but this is easy enough to identify. Upside down 6 and tritium signed. White dial, it's not silver white, it's white, almost like a chalk white, though it's got a little bit of gloss to it. The crown, the hands, and the indices, all of them by this point in Rolex history, white gold, so they won't tarnish or oxidize with time. We'll do a lume shot so you can see quite clearly that it is a true tritium dial, but the hands are Luminova. And then we've got screw downs right here. There's a screw in case back, easy enough to see. Screw down crown, 100 meter water resistant, trip lock crown in steel, 3 symmetrical dots, that's what that means. Sapphire crystal, and Zenith El Primero-based Rolex caliber 4030. There were quite a few changes from the Zenith when it became the 4030. So obviously doing away with the date, also changing the beat rate down to 4 hertz from 5 for the sake of durability above all. There's nothing wrong with an El Primero, but Rolex wanted even greater insurance policies against the future by stepping down the beat rate. Rolex also fitted a free-sprung balance for greater stability against shock and more precise adjustment, 5-position adjustment, COSC chronometer certification. Rolex replaced Zenith's somewhat fiddly spring-intensive winding system with a Rolex perpetual winding system. And of course, the use of an overcoil hairspring rather than the flat hairspring on the Zenith gives the watch better positional stability for timekeeping in any orientation with respect to gravity. But they kept the best parts of the Zenith, including the fundamental durability, the ultra-crisp column wheel feel, lateral clutch architecture, and the 31 jewels, as well as the power reserve, which gets a slight step up. A standard El Primero would be about 50 to 52 hours. This is considered to be about 52 to 55 hours due to the absence of the date and the date jumper. The only feature it doesn't really have is a hacking seconds function. That would come with the caliber 4130 in the year 2000, but because the Zenith movement Daytonas are much scarcer and less common, they get the nod as the more collectible pieces with the older technology. So 904L steel, by this point Rolex was using it on both bracelet and case, a high nickel content steel that is exceptionally resistant to corrosion, even in the face of salt from the sea or sweat from the arm. And so we have a watch that in every regard could be considered both neo-vintage and still a modern Daytona. In some sense, it is both. It looks almost indistinguishable from a modern Daytona, and qualitatively it can still be used as a sports watch the way it was originally intended. But with the tritium dial, the legendary Zenith-based caliber, and of course the scarcity of these pieces, it is also vintage. So reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex certified standard, and any parts invested Rolex factory original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a certified pre-owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note, this is not a retail warranty, but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual. A holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company, the certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.